This past week, Embark was kind enough to invite me to participate in the early VIP event for the new season, to see all the new features and try out the new weapons, maps, as well as game modes such as Team Deathmatch and the additions of new maps to PowerShift. In this video, I want to give you guys an early impression and review of the 3 new weapons for Season 6. Now these are again early impressions, and one day is not nearly enough time to completely assess a weapon. With that being said, my review at the moment is not set in stone, and is subject to change when I've had more time using them. So if you find this video enjoyable, please smash that like button. It's a small button for you, but it means the world to me. And subscribe for all things to finals. Oh, also I forgot to mention, I'll be giving away $10 worth of multi-bucks in this video, along with the next few I'm going to release. All you need to do is like, subscribe, and leave haha easy money in the comments. I'll be selecting 5 winners at the end of the week, so stay tuned. Anyhow, without further ado, let's jump into it. The first weapon we are going to go over is the new light assault rifle, the ARN 220. Rather than providing damage values, I will be providing the amount of bullets needed to eliminate a target. When I do provide these damage numbers, I want to be able to provide the exact values when the final product is released, because we were told that it may change in the next preview event or even on release. So the values that I am not only presenting for the ARN, but for the other 2 weapons are all approximates. I also say this because we were playing on EU servers and the ping was producing some significant lag when looking over the footage, meaning I would need to fire 2 bullets before the target would actually register the damage. Anyhow, the ARN can approximately eliminate a light in 11 body shots at 0.54 seconds, and with 8 crits at 0.39 seconds. It can eliminate a medium in 18 body shots at 1.28 seconds, and with 12 crits at 1.04 seconds. It can eliminate a heavy in 25 body shots at 2.04 seconds, and with 19 crits at 1.33 seconds. This assault rifle also has a multitude of attachments, scopes, red dot sights, as well as holographic sights. The weapon feels exactly like the description. Fast, snappy, and absolutely shreds. In my opinion, it is akin to what the AKM is to the FCAR. The FCAR being the XP54. While the player may be doing a lot more damage with the XP54, the ARN has forgiveness because of the speed reload when switching to the secondary mag, which is approximately 1 second. Meaning that in the process of you reloading, you could simply evade and get back into the action at half the amount of time a player using the XP54 would. The recoil for this weapon veers off slightly to the left, but for the most part, vertical. So simply pulling down and moving that reticle dynamically should be more than enough to smooth out the recoil and control it. Another thing to note is that the second mag is damn near vertical and does not share the same pattern as the first mag. Also remember that the secondary mag is not technically the empty mag reload time, which is approximately 2.36 seconds. In other words, it is incentivized to keep shooting the ARN all the way through to the secondary mag. But if you end up eliminating your opponent, or realize that you're not going to have enough bullets when you've shot through the majority of the secondary mag, then I highly recommend you tactically reload. And as far as sights go, for me personally, the red dot sight provides a lot more clarity when I track the target. All in all, I think this weapon can shred and can provide a little more forgiveness than the XP54. But when it comes to high elo lobbies where players are using the most optimal loadout and have better than average aim, the XP will win the majority of the time, especially now with the buff to damage it has received, as well as its buff to range. But again, I want to state, these are the values that we were provided in the sandbox at the VIP event, so it could change when the season finally releases. Not to mention the variety of scopes and sights you can now attach to it. With that being said though, the ARN still has a place in my opinion, for those again that are looking for a weapon with more forgiveness rather than just sheer damage values. Now I would propose a slight increase to damage, however upon further reflection this would be a slippery slope, because from that minor tweak this weapon would not only outperform the XP54 but also the M11 because of its fire rate with the secondary mag's reload speed, outperforming 2 weapons rather than just 1. So I certainly can see why they are treading very carefully with this weapon and not necessarily releasing it busted. As for the aesthetics of the ARN, it is absolutely gorgeous from the pullout all the way to the reload animations. If you worked on this weapon, Oscar, you did an amazing job. And I'm going to leave his YouTube channel down below so you guys can go over and give him some love too. The presentation of this weapon is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to see the skins for it that come later in the season. Now moving on to the medium CB01 lever action marksman rifle. I had an absolute blast using this weapon. It is my favorite weapon out of all three in the season. I found it honestly extremely hard to use and test out other weapons because I was having such a good time using this. And by the way, if you're watching this, Sanguine, I know for a fact you're going to be decimating entire lobbies with this thing. That is if they release it as powerful as it was in the VIP event. This weapon is not only satisfying, but it is incredibly lethal with the amount of burst damage it can do from each crit. Now unfortunately I did not get the TTK for this weapon because I did not fire it at maximum RPM when using it in the practice range. So I'm only going to be providing today the amount of bullets needed to eliminate each class. With that being said, you can 2-tap a light regardless if you hit headshots or not. Eliminate a medium in 3 body shots, 2-tap them if you're landing your crits. Eliminate a heavy in 4 body shots, and also do it in 3 crits. As you can tell, just like the revolver, the repeater thrives on its headshot damage, and if you have better than average aim, surprisingly, it's not too hard. I found myself nailing crits from within 5 meters all the way to 30 meters easily, just popping heads like it's my job. Not to mention the repeater has amazing inner accuracy. As for the reload, just like the ARN, the gun incentivizes you to empty the clip, so that you can use a speed loader to get back into the action. However, there are very few times where I shot this weapon to the point of getting to an empty mag, because I could easily eliminate 2 players in one with bullets to spare, leaving more than enough time to reload my weapon before the next engagement. This weapon without a shred of a doubt will become meta, and will become a force to be reckoned with from 0 to 30 meters. That is if they release it like it was in the VIP event. Now the repeater does have bullet dispersion. However, the ADS does not have too much of a zoom, allowing you to quickly snap fire in close quarter engagements. And of course, that is dependent on what attachment you're using. And if you're not sprint strafing or don't have auto sprint turned on, the bullet dispersion with the hip fire isn't too bad. Again, I can't say this enough. Absolute beast of a weapon, and I highly recommend it, especially for those of you that enjoy weapons such as the revolver and the 1887. As for the aesthetics of the weapon, it is superb. The quick reload on an empty mag is beautiful, sound effects are satisfying, and paired with the ka-ching you hear after a headshot, I'm telling you guys, is pure bliss. I could glaze this weapon for hours, but I think it's about time we get to the highly anticipated minigun for the heavy. This weapon does structural damage, can absolutely shred dome shields, mesh shields, and barricades while providing continuous suppressive fire, which can be extremely potent when defending a cash out. Now, gathering data for the minigun was quite hard due to the server lag, as well as the rate of fire and bullet spread, as you can see from the bullet spread at around 15 meters here, so just keep that in mind. It can eliminate a light in approximately 21 body shots at 0.5 seconds, eliminate a medium in approximately 28 body shots at 1.23 seconds, and eliminate a heavy at approximately 43 body shots at 2 seconds. To offset this power, the player has to first spin up the minigun to prime it before firing. You can do this by firing the weapon itself, or by just holding down ADS, which will keep the minigun primed and able to shoot on demand when getting into an engagement. Now the spin up is more or less a charge up, because if you release aim down sights and press it again, you will not charge up this weapon from the beginning, but rather pick up where you left off, allowing you to have some mobility in between engagements, all while minimizing the spin up time. Now I know we all thought this weapon was going to be busted, especially for you lights out there. And yes, if you're within 20 meters, you will combust into a pile of coins if you engage a heavy with a primed minigun. But there lies the problem. Beyond 25 meters, the bullet dispersion is very severe, to the point where only 60% of your shots will most likely land. On top of that, the reload time for the minigun is extremely long, giving your opponent more than enough time to close the gap and eliminate you. This is even longer when you take into account that the weapon needs to be spun up before firing again, making it almost necessary to have teammates willing to provide backup or even another heavy to provide support with either a mesh shield, dome shield, or barricade. because you are completely defenseless for a good amount of time. Now I can see this weapon being a lot of fun in quick play modes and even World Tour. However, when it comes to what's most optimal, the Lewis gun, M60, Shock 50, SA-1216 if it's not gutted of course, and Akimbo will beat it every time. This is due to those weapons having a lot of versatility, including lethality, fast reload speeds, and of course, the lack of a movement penalty. So in my opinion, if they just tightened up that bullet spread just a little bit, allowing the weapon to provide suppressive fire against opponents up to 30 meters. Now, you're obviously not going to be mowing them down at that range, but the damage should be impactful enough for those opposing teams to think twice about closing the gap. As for the aesthetics of the minigun, just like the previous three, are absolutely jaw-dropping. The reload animations are smooth, regardless of the damage values this weapon has. You actually look and feel powerful when firing this thing. The sound design for the minigun spinning up all the way to the player releasing a hail of bullets is sheer perfection. And don't even get me started with the skins that are coming out with the season pass, as well as the ones in the store right now. So, all in all, these weapons are great additions to the game, and I look forward to seeing the loadouts that you guys pair with them. I want to state again that this is just early impressions and my initial review, and my opinion may be subject to change later in the season. Anyhow guys, if you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please smash that like button. Also, subscribe for all things the finals and the most comprehensive weapon guides in the game. Peace and love guys, and I'll see you in the arena.